I'm Patrick Reed from the Adamas Principle. Absolute rubbish week in FX, especially dollar G10. Really low vols, and it's just getting worse and worse. So trying to make some bread and butter out there is very, very difficult. Risk pairs, again, not really moving that much, but this will not last. So let's just take the dollar index. Just a quick note on this before we look at the euro dollar. This closed very near, I think it was 20 ticks higher than the open at the beginning of last week. So as you can see, really, really shocking, really low levels of vol and very hard to trade. So the first, obviously dollar index highly weighted with euro dollar. Have a look at the first chart, euro dollar, 111.85. We've been talking about this for quite some time at the Adamas Principle. That got defended. However, we do remain under 113 and the highs are getting lower. So lower highs means we could be testing 111.85 soon enough. There is another current parallel narrative that the euro's taken over as the funder, as the funding currency from the yen, but more on that later. Nothing conclusive, but more on that later. So euro dollar, yeah, basically net, not a lot of divergence. It's probably going to take a real shocker, like a proper indication of a rate cut for us to get above 113 on the US side, for us to get above 113 to test maybe 114, but otherwise range bound but slightly softer. So the second slide, this is dollar yen. This is a bit odd because all the yen pairs have been grinding up, nothing with great conviction, despite the real, well, the only decent narrative, i.e. stocks higher and bonds getting bought, especially in the US. But all risk pairs aren't really following the same dance. They're grinding up, but they're not really rallying. I would say they're a lot more cautious with the Trump Z meetings. But again, we are above the mid-Bollinger Band. Anything below 112.20, I can see it testing 111 again. Otherwise, if it breaks above that, then you might see a 114, but I doubt that very much. I still firmly believe it's a sell the fact, not buy the rumor. So the next slide, again, I'm going to focus with this slide and the next slide on yen pairs because they didn't really do much. We're grinding up, we're in the mid-Bollinger Band. This is euro yen, really not happening. I think the narrative, the global growth slowdown narrative, still not being fully priced in to the markets. So, it's a difficult story to say, but let's look at the final slide, Aussie yen. Again, we're just touching the upper Bollinger Band. Look at those Bollinger Bands, very compressed vol, really not very great. 80-50, not a bad level up there. But again, something, I'm going to wrap on this, but something happened last week on Friday that kind of made me question risk pairs, i.e. yen and EM markets. We had a strange case of, dollar was bid in G10. It was offered in EM. I thought this was one of those odd situations on Friday where we had risk on and dollar bid, right? But digging deeper, it looks like we had euro EM offered, which was dragging down dollar EM. So as I said at the beginning of the piece, this could be going into the narrative of euro replacing yen as the funder. No real follow through. This happened on Friday. No real follow through as yet, but it's just something to bear in mind as flows come through. On the counter of that, there are still Japanese retail buying dollar yen, as in selling yen. So just watch this space. I'll be blogging all week on LinkedIn. Patrick Reed, Adamas Principle. Thank you for watching.